All right, you guys. So here we are on an early Wednesday morning before work, trying to get episode 7 of The Mandalorian in, guys. So thank you very much for joining. Guys, if there is any copyright issues, I will put a link to my full reaction to episode 7 down below. If there is any issues with copyright, you'll see a link down below. We have The Mandalorian. Baby Yoda.
My friend, if you're receiving this transmission, that means you are alive. Once we get near the client, you kill him, and we both get what we want. If you succeed, you keep the child, and I will have your name cleared with the guild.
Mandalorian. Here we go, guys. What is he gonna do? Is he going back to Reckoning? Chapter 7. That yeah, that one planet. Ooh. Oh. Ooh. That was a nice sequence.
Looking for some work?
Ah, Baby Yoda.
It seems our choice. You saw what happened on Sorgan.
Look at Baby Yoda.
The kid will never be safe until the end is dead.
I love it. Oh, damn. Oh, Baby Yoda.
We need someone to watch that thing.
Yeah.
You got anyone you can trust?
Whoa.
Would anyone care for some tea?
Please, lower your blast. He will not harm you.
That thing is programmed to kill the baby.
Not anymore.
Is it still a hunter?
No, but it will protect.
Ooh. No, no. What is he doing?
No, stop! We're friends. Kara is my friend.
That is not okay.
This little bogwing is what all the fuss was about. A precious little creature. A fire team. Trust me. Nothing can go wrong.
That can't be a Minot. It looks like a Minot thing. Damn.
So this is
Uh-oh. Watch the child. Watch the child.
I
Watch
need
the
another med
child.
pack. Got any other med packs? Anyone?
I'm guessing that's a no.
Uh-oh. Baby
It's
Yoda.
still spreading. This isn't working.
Baby Yoda.
Get this thing out of here.
Wait. He's trying to eat me.
Baby Yoda. Look.
guess this is it. Something you should know. The plan was to kill you and take the kid. But after what happened last night, I couldn't go through with it.
The kid goes back in the ship.
But without the child, none of this works.
I have a plan. Queel, ride back to the Razor Crest with the child and seal yourself in. When you're inside, engage ground security protocols. Nothing on this planet will breach those doors.
Here's the comlink. I will keep the child safe.
Chain code?
I have a gift for the boss.
Chain code.
You see, 4. Look what I brought you, as promised.
What exquisite craftsmanship. It is amazing how beautiful Beskar can be when forged by its ancestral artisans. Yes,
The
Moff
Moff.
Gideon.
Have they brought the child?
Yes, I have. Currently it is sleeping.
You may want to check again.
Oh. Damn. Ruthless. Ruthless, dude. Wow. Death troopers. Prison transport.
4 stormtroopers.
Damn. Whoa. Dude,
This is bad.
that's real bad.
Are you back to the ship yet? Are you there? Do you copy?
Yes,
Are you back to the ship yet?
not yet.
Get back to the ship and bail. Get the kid out of here. We're pinned down.
Oh man. Dude, this is insane now. This just got crazy. Damn, pulling out all the stops. Got our first Tizai. And it's got. Oh. Ooh, that's awesome. They have to produce that in the toy. Ooh. Ah, damn. The Moff.
You have something I want.
Who's this guy?
You may think you have some idea what you are in possession of, but you do not.
Queel, are you back to the ship yet? They're on to us.
Means more to me than you will ever know.
IG-11 has got to kick in right now.
Are you there? Come in, Queel.
Oh, what is the kid doing on the ground? No! Please don't end it right there. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Whoa. All right, you guys. So, what a very amazing episode. Enjoyed it just as much as I did last week's episode. Obviously, this particular episode focused on the main plot, the main theme of this, the client, as he is referred to, Werner Herzog's character, is after this baby, and now he's kind of got Grief Karga to get the Mandalorian to come back to the planet. And I forget the name of the planet. I should keep that planet in mind, guys. But gets the Mandalorian to come back, and the Mandalorian decides he's going to come back, but he decides he's going to put him a little team together before he heads back. He's just not going to head back by himself. So he goes back to pick up Cara Dune, and then he heads over to pick up Quill. We've finally learned his name, which is Quill, which is Nick Nolte's character. Very cool. And in the midst of all of this, we also find out that IG-11 is been fixed and brought back, but he's removed the programming, assassin programming for IG-11, and now has made him a protector of sorts. So that's going to be very interesting to see going forward, especially given what we just saw at the end of that episode, guys. Love the fact that we got IG-11 back. Very awesome. So then after this, we get the Mandalorian trying to solicit Quill's participation in all of this. Quill decides to join, not for pay, but to protect the child from the Empire and rid the remnants of the Empire from the galaxy forever, would be his payment, is what he's saying. So that is really cool. So we get our whole team together. Then we also kind of get this kind of friction between our newfound group, where there's a bit of distrust between our shock trooper in Cara Dune, and then of course the fact that Quill used to work for the Empire against his will, but he was obviously on the other side of things, so there was kind of a little bit of friction there. Real big moment while we're traveling back basically to this trap that Grief Karga has got the Mandalorian going into. We also see that Baby Yoda actually force chokes Cara Dune. I'm assuming because he thought that Cara Dune was doing harm to the Mandalorian, so he was trying to protect the Mandalorian, not really understanding that they're just playing a simple game. But that was really, really interesting that he would use a force choke as a kid. So that was really really interesting, guys. I don't know what to really think about that, but that was really eye-popping to see that type of aggression from Baby Yoda. We get to our rendezvous point, which is a desolate part of the main planet in this story. And again, guys, I do forget the name of the planet. But we meet up with Grief Karga. Grief Karga's got a couple of bounty hunters there with him. Once they meet up with Grief Karga, they decide to head back into town. They have this supposed plan to kill the client. We get this scene where, and I can only assume that these were Minox that were attacking the group. I could be totally wrong about that. Someone, if you do know, you can correct me down in the comments. I'd really be interested to know if someone knows officially if those were Minox that were attacking the group there. But that was my impression when I saw the creatures. They reminded me of the Minox, but very large versions of what we saw from Empire Strikes Back on the Falcon. But that was a really, really cool scene. Very nice to see those, if they were in fact Minox that were attacking the group. Then from that point, we find that Grief Karga has been injured by one of the Minox, actually poisoned by the Minox. Again, if they are in fact Minox. But he's the poison is spreading fast. Cara Dune is trying to administer some type of aid to help him, but she's saying that the poison is spreading fast. And then we get again Baby Yoda walking out of his little baby crib there, and he uses the Force to help Grief Karga and heal him completely, which is, again, we saw that he tried to heal the Mandalorian. However, he didn't get that opportunity in one of the earlier episodes. He heals Grief Karga from the poison. So we get this next scene where they're coming up on the town, and Grief Karga is kind of talking to his boys about what just transpired with him being healed by the child. So it seems as though what we all pretty much thought, that this might be some type of setup, but it looks like it got even more interesting on Grief Karga and the bounty hunters' part when they noticed what the child was capable of. So the Mandalorian and Cara Dune recognize this and kind of want to keep their eyes open on Grief Karga and the other bounty hunter. When we get to, I guess, just about the edge of the main town on this particular planet, or the town where the Bounty Hunters Guild is stationed, we get to this moment where we have a couple of the bounty hunters sitting behind our heroes, and then we have Grief Karga right in the middle, in between our two heroes here. And the bounty hunters draw their guns, and then we get this quick turnaround by our heroes, and including Grief Karga. And Grief Karga actually takes out the two bounty hunters. And then once he does that, he reveals what the plan was supposed to be, that they were supposed to take out the Mandalorian and bring the baby with them. But he had a change of heart and decided after he was healed that he wasn't going to allow this child to be taken by the client. So they devise a plan to make it seem that the Mandalorian has been captured, using Cara Dune as the captor, and Grief Karga was bringing the prize to Werner Herzog's character. So we get into town, and we find that the town is basically overrun by the enemy. We have these two cool biker scouts sitting right on the edge of the town, and then we find that the town is full of stormtroopers. Cara Dune quite frequently from this point on of the episode mentions that there was only supposed to be 4, and every time that she says this, more and more troopers show up. So we have this town full of troopers. They go inside to make the exchange for Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian. We get to Werner Herzog's character. In the process, we get this moment where Werner Herzog's character, the client, wants to look at the baby, but just before that, he gets a very important call that he needs to take. And this call is from none other than Moff Gideon, who is Giancarlo Esposito's character. So he gets this call from Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon asks the client, does he have the package? Does he have the child? And once he confirms that he has the child, we get this massive array of blasters coming through the building. Pow, 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 pow. It takes out the client, Werner Herzog's character, so he's dead, and has our hero scrambling. In the meantime, the Mandalorian is out of his cuffs that he was in, and now our heroes are pinned down, and as we peer out from where the blast come from, we see a line of about 6 to 7 Death Troopers surrounded by another platoon of stormtroopers. And then we get, I believe, a pan up, if I'm not mistaken, of the courtyard. And now we have more stormtroopers descending in on our heroes, pinning them down even further. And then once we get that, we have one of the best entrances that I've ever seen for any character in Star Wars ever. where we have Moff Gideon flies in on what seemingly is a normal TIE fighter. And the TIE fighter lands, and then the TIE fighter takes the wings and folds the wings down like this. Absolutely cool. And then Moff Gideon basically raises up out of the TIE fighter. So one of the best entrances that we've ever seen for a character in all of Star Wars, man. One of the best entrances ever. So he comes out, he's addressing our heroes, and explains that he's going to take this prize. He's going to take this kid. The whole time that this is going on, we have Quill, who has taken the baby back to the ship with instructions to lock the ship down and don't let anything on the ship. As the Mandalorian is trying to communicate with him, the communication is intercepted by the two biker scouts that were sitting on the edge of the entrance of the town. They hear this and they take off speeder bikes. Absolutely cool sequence right there, because we have the speeder bikes just going along, chasing after Quill, who is riding on the Burb, if I have that name correct. As they're getting closer to the ship, the biker scouts are getting much closer as well. I think we go back to our heroes who are pinned down by the Empire and Moff Gideon, and then I believe then we go back to Baby Yoda. We see Baby Yoda actually laying on the ground for some reason, and we see and it's one of the best shots I've seen ever in Star Wars, where we see the speeder bike and the biker scout come up and scoop up Baby Yoda, and as the speeder bike is taking off into the distance, we see that Quill has been apparently shot, maybe killed, and then of course the bird also is laying there as well, and basically that's how the episode ends. Absolutely wonderful episode. Really enjoyed it. We have definitely entered the part of the story where there's some adversity with the Mandalorian. He's been able to kind of get through everything so far almost unscathed, but now he's lost the baby and he's pinned down by a great deal of stormtroopers and death troopers with Moff Gideon's forces. Episode 8 is going to be absolutely interesting, to say the least, because we have our heroes in danger, and we also have Baby Yoda who has been captured. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that last episode for The Mandalorian. I'm sure the ratings are going to be through the roof now that we have Baby Yoda in the hands of the Empire, basically. Again, a couple of things I wanted to touch on, or main points of the episode that I wanted to touch on. Specifically, Baby Yoda. Quill confirmed that he's not a clone, that he is an organic species. So that was really cool, very interesting there. Also, the fact that IG-11 was rebuilt and reprogrammed. I think we're going to see IG-11 back in action. He is programmed to protect, so we should see how that goes there, guys. So really good episode. Really enjoyed this episode. Absolutely amazing acting. Love the scenes and the different planets that we got to visit. The lava area where they had the crossover was really cool. Other than that, I enjoyed the story. Definitely this particular episode pushed the main theme, the main narrative of this series forward. Now we have Baby Yoda in peril, as I mentioned, and we have now our true villain of the series as well in Moff Gideon. Again, one of the most impressive entrances for a villain that I've ever seen in Star Wars. This is absolutely awesome, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and score this episode. I'm going to give this episode again, 9.5 out of 10. Same score that I gave episode 6. Back-to-back amazing episodes, guys. Again, if anyone said that this was a 10 out of 10, I would not disagree. because this series is absolutely awesome, guys. So really enjoyed the series, guys. Absolutely amazing. I'm glad we got our little crew together. We also now have looks like Grief Karga is now going to be fighting alongside the Mandalorian against the Empire. So we've got what everyone was basically looking for, was our little crew that we were going to have throughout this series. And I think now we have that crew, and they're all going to be hopefully, if they can get out of this situation alive, if they can all get out of this situation alive, we'll have them all bouncing around the galaxy, running from the remnants of the Empire. So, guys, let me know what your thoughts were on this particular episode. What did you think about the episode? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? What did you think about Baby Yoda force choking Cara Dune? I thought it was really interesting. Again, the only thing that I can think of is that he was trying to protect the Mandalorian and thought Cara Dune was trying to harm him, and that's why he did what he did. But I thought that was a really, really interesting aspect of the episode, guys. So let me know what your thoughts are in regards to that. What do you think is going to happen in episode 8, guys? Now that we have Baby Yoda in the hands of the remnants of the Empire, and we have our heroes pinned down, guys. So let me know what your thoughts are, what your predictions are for episode 8. Put those comments down below. Please like and subscribe. And of course, guys, from the Father to the Son to the Obi-Wan Force Ghost, may the Force be with you always.